Alright, what's up guys? It's that one Tacoma here. Today I'm gonna do a little night drive on the freeway, stuff like that. But mostly I wanted to talk about on how you matter in life, you know? I don't know who needs to hear this or in what situation you guys are in, but I know this month is mental health. It's mental health day. Month. You know, I just wanted to tell you guys, like, if you guys have any problems or any issues, stuff like that, like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, a lot of times we as men grow up getting told, hey, you're a guy, you can't cry, you have to hold in your feelings, you gotta stay strong, like you can't show emotion. But there's only a certain point where a man can truly take. I know a lot of people that I knew and that I know that have gone through a tough time like that, and it sucks because you can't really do much, I lost a friend because of that. He was dealing with a whole bunch of shit in his life that he just decided to take his own life, because he couldn't handle it no more. That's not right. A lot of people, like, you gotta think it through. A lot of people would prefer listening to you and carrying the weight of your problems than carrying the weight of your casket. I'm saying that because shit hurts when you lose somebody, especially a close one. Like, I don't know, like, how to explain it, but if you feel like you're down on a certain situation where you don't know what to really do, or you can't find that peace in you that you want to look for, let's just say, for example, I'm just gonna use it for example. You're like in a little party, a family party, right? And you eat and stuff like that, you feel fine, but then you get very anxious. You don't know what to do. Like, you're desperate, but you don't know what you're desperate for, and you just leave. You'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go do this, just an excuse to get out of there. Or let's just say, hold up, or like, what was that? Oh yeah, like, let's just say you use that as an excuse to leave from there, right? Once you go and stuff like that, and you do whatever you do, you don't want to be home. You don't want to talk to people. You don't want to have nothing to do with anybody. And that shit's tough. I know a lot of people that gone through that. I might as well just put myself into it too. I feel like that. Like, sometimes you just want to go out for a drive, stuff like that. A lot of people fall into this addiction of drugs or alcohol, and they don't get what they want. I have a friend that something happened in his life, and he can't get that out of his mind, and he struggles and stuff like that. He was basically homeless from the situation, and once he found a home and stuff like that, he couldn't deal with himself. He can't handle the pain, so he decided to go for alcohol and drugs. But I tried talking to him multiple times, but there's only a certain limit, and you just gotta really be there for them every time that they need someone to talk to. Because trust me, I'm always there for them, no matter what. Even though sometimes people won't be there for me, I'm that type of person to be there for them. And that's what I want you guys to do. Like, if you have a family member, a friend, or something that you see are a little off, hey, just be like, hey man, like, how you been? Just give them a conversation. Or maybe you don't even notice it because they're really good at hiding it. Really notice it, but there's certain things, like, let's just say, a quick example, if they start keeping their distance. They don't call as often, or they don't talk as often, or they're there, they're present, but in reality they're not there. Like, they're present at the moment, but their emotion, their soul is not there. Like, they're just quiet. They're a whole different person, and you feel that, like, oh shit, like, what's going on? You know, that's the shit that a lot of people don't realize. Maybe I'm just repeating myself at this point, but yeah. I'm gonna go back to the story of my friend. No matter what, let's just say, I'm trying to think of a story. There's one time we were in a call, right? And he was telling me, hey man, I can't do this, stuff like that. And I told her, hey, you know, you gotta get through it. Shit happens, you know, like, you gotta, look, you have a place to stay now. You have a car. You didn't have a car before. You work and stuff like that, man. Oh, my bad. Oh, okay. I was telling him, like, hey, you work, man. Like, you have a lot of life in you. Like, you're barely the same age as me. I'm 18. I'm about to be 19. He's around the same age, and he decided to do alcohol, and that shit gets him. Like, I even asked him. I was like, hey, fool, when you do alcohol, how does that make you feel? Like, what feelings do you get, or like how, stuff like that? Because I know, like, I see it in him, and like, I'm not stupid, you know, like, I see it. Like, let's just say it doesn't help at all. I told him, I was like, hey man, like, give me a good explanation. You do drugs and you drink. He's like, oh, it's because I take the pain away and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It takes your pain away. I get that and stuff like that, but does it really? Like, for a moment, your pain goes away, and you don't know nothing about it, but you're drunk and stuff like that. You don't remember jack shit. Is that really forgetting and passing on and not hurting, or is that making you hurt more? Because I was in a call with him when he was drunk like that, and shit isn't right, you know, like, he was talking about the same situation over and over, and how he can't deal it when he was drunk and stuff like that. And he was telling me that, hey, he can't live no more and stuff like that. I had to be there for him. I was like, hey, no, do you matter, fool? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you and stuff like that? You know, like, you're not aware of the situation and stuff like that. And I get it. And enthusiasts, it's kind of like for us, man. I know a lot of you guys that watch this video or are watching this video probably go out for drives on the freeway, back roads or something on your car, and go stress and stuff like that. Like, I feel you guys. I feel it. I really do. Like, you guys could be going 150, 160, shit, who knows how fast. But, and I know a lot of times you guys' attention is not going back home, and I feel that. I'm not gonna lie, I feel that. Shit gets rough. Shit does get rough, very bad, and it's a pain that hurts the most. Oh shit! God damn. Shit got scary right there. But moving forward about that, just take care of you guys. Like, take care of yourselves. If you don't harm yourself to a point where, like, people hear you, people understand you. You know, you matter to someone, you know, you matter to family. Like, I don't know. Like, me personally, I have parents, my mom and dad. Sometimes I think to myself, I was like, hey, you know what? Shit gets real. What happens if I'm doing, like, right here, this Tacoma, it says it tops out at 120, But from the modifications I've done, it tops out at 150, you know, and it's a 4-cylinder. But like in the same time, once you get up to that speed, you start thinking to yourself, hey, like, shit, this gets real. Like, you're anything on the road, a bump, a pothole, a car, something, it gets in your way. What's gonna happen? Guys, you're gonna hit it, you're gonna crash, you're gonna flip over, whatever you're gonna do, and most of the part you end up dead. Or maybe, and who's gonna get the call? Your mom, your dad, a family member, or a friend, something. They're gonna get that call, and think about how that's just gonna make them feel, you know. Like for me, you see me cruising, I'm going like 70 miles an hour, the speed limit here in the freeway. You may call me, oh fool, that's boring, you know, stuff like that, but in reality, like, I get it, you know. In reality, I don't care, you know. I'm just trying to drive, enjoy my ride and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, I don't want my mom, my dad, well, basically my parents, my family to suffer from a loss, you know. Especially my mom. The mom is always there for you. The mom is always there no matter what situation you're in, or what situation happens to you, or the position you get yourself into. The mom is always there to help you and support you. That's what moms are for. They're birth givers. Of course they're gonna have that love for you like no other female is gonna have. You be in a relationship, stuff like that, yeah, the female can say I love you, but does she really? How do you know? You know? But if a mom tells you, hey, I love you, you know that's meant. You really do. You know that's straight from her heart, from her chest, from everything on her life. You know, I've seen a lot of videos where the mom gets a phone call, hey, and the person on the call, I forgot what it's called, the person calls said, hey, are you in a safe spot? Are you driving? If so, pull over. And once they tell him, hey, your son is dead, they burst into tears, and it's a pain that the mom is never going to forget, or she's going to left off wondering why it happened. You know, it's it's a shit to process, you know. And I don't want my mom to do that, especially even my dad. I know a lot of people, you guys became car guys over a red car, a guy with blonde hair, a bald guy with a Charger, or what's it called? What's his name? What's the other one? Need for Speed, or your dad. Like me, I got into vehicles because of my dad. My dad always had good, I'm not gonna say the best vehicles, but he had good, decent, enthusiast vehicles. He had a Golf. He had those Volkswagen, like the hatchbacks, stuff like that. It was stick shift. It was a 5-speed, if I remember. That shit was fun. He taught me how to drive manual on that. That's the first car I learned how to drive manual, if I remember. He had a Tundra with the first one, no, the second generation that came out, the V8, stuff like that. I don't exactly remember top of my head how he had it, but he had it a certain way. He also had multiple cars. He had Chevys. He had other cars. He had a lot. He was the main person that I got into trucks, into cars, into all of that. And I love it. I love him for that. And I don't want him to suffer the pain. Like, I don't want to have him do the conversation, be like, why the fuck you do this? I told you multiple times not to do this. Why didn't you just listen? Crying in my grave or something like that. That's the shit that gets to me. And I think I'm not afraid of dying, but I am afraid of the shit that happens after I die, if that makes sense. I don't care, like, I'm not afraid of what happens when I die, but like, I'm afraid what happens when I die, how my parents are gonna react and how they're gonna feel.